Are there such things as wild golden gophers? Why does it take people so long to get gas at Costco? Am I going to need a compass to find the new soccer fields? Also, I have a job update and a new YouTube idea. And that's it. That's what you're getting today. It's a solo episode of The Underlayer with me, your host, David Young. We're going to try to figure some things out, probably not. And we're going to try to tell a couple funny stories along the way. So we'll get right into it. We're going to kind of go in reverse order of what I just laid out. So I do have a job update. I'm supposed to start a new job next week. It's been a little clunky in the process. I'm going through a staffing agency. It's a 1-year contract. The job itself is pretty good. It's close to the house. It's with a good company. The work seems to be up my alley. It's a hybrid, 3 days in the office, 2 days at home once I get trained. And I am looking forward to it, which I certainly can't always say about an office-based job. But I am looking forward to getting started. It does seem like a good fit. The people I interviewed with are smart and capable, and I think they will make good managers and coworkers. So that's it. So it was supposed to be the 10th, and then it moved to the 17th. Actually, it moved to the 24th, then went back to the 17th, and now it's the 24th or maybe the 25th, or maybe it'll be after Labor Day. We don't know, but we're gonna just keep riding that wave, and we'll get started. I'll get started there at some point, so it'll be nice to start working again, making some money, getting out of the house. So that's that update. Now, for my idea, so once I start working, then I have to balance that out with a passion project or a side project. It's a little late in the year for me to do any heavy training or running. I could do a marathon in November, but I don't really feel like carving that out. I might do a 10K in October, but that's pretty easy lifting. And so, obviously I have this show. I do have the YouTube channel where, I upload these videos. And a while ago, well, let me back up. So you've seen in some of my posts, if you read my LinkedIn posts, I've been playing more golf this year because my oldest son, who has gotten really into golf about a year now, he started last August. And then this year, he's been playing more. And so I started to play more with him. So I've played about 12 rounds, maybe 14 rounds, which is more than I've played probably in the last 15 years combined. So I played a lot of golf growing up, starting about 13 or 14. I played in high school and then kind of played through college. My college jobs were at local golf courses. So I played a lot of golf, work in the morning, play in the afternoon, or play in the morning and work, or flip it, play early and work later. Anyway, so, the summers, almost every day I was at the course, either playing or working or both. And I was okay. I was never great. My handicap at my peak when I was about 21, I got it down to a 6. My best ever round was an even par 71, 3 birdies, 3 bogeys, 12 pars. I broke 80, I don't know, 15 times, 20 times maybe. Usually shot when I was really playing well between like 78 and 85. I was never usually worse than 85. Anyway, and then once I got out of college, started working, I started playing less and less, kind of went from, a lot of rounds a year to maybe 7 or 8 to 4 or 5 to 2 or 3 to 1. I think at one point I skipped 3 or 4 years. I didn't touch my clubs at all. They were in the attic. And, I'd occasionally play at an outing, or my friends and I would get together like once every other year, every third year. We'd play, 18 holes. And that was it. Honestly, I didn't really miss it. I never loved golf. I loved basketball. I loved the other sports. I liked playing golf. I always thought I should be better than I was. And I was always frustrating, but I didn't like practicing. So there was the rub. And anyway, so with my oldest son getting into it, and I did not force him into it, I'd taken him to play a few times when they were growing up and they were younger. Neither of my kids really that interested. Like, not that they didn't like it, but it's not something they wanted to do on their own. And then my oldest son found it. He had gotten injured playing basketball about 15, 17 months ago. Couldn't run or play basketball. Found golf, could play golf without pain, and just kind of got bitten by the golf bug. He's been there ever since, years straight now. And he's obsessed with it. He loves it. He wants to play and practice all the time. He'll do it on his own. He doesn't need me to push him. So it's, they say if you find something that you want to practice, that's when you found it. So I guess he's kind of found it. And I played a couple rounds, maybe 2 or 3 late last year as he was getting into it. And then I was kind of seeing what he would do. And then, kind of continued even through the winter. He was hitting balls indoors. And so this spring we started playing more kind of around spring break, and then May. And then once like Memorial Day came, we've tried to play once a week if we can. So again, 12 or 14 rounds this year. And it's been a lot of fun. I've really gotten into it. And my game is super rusty, and that's also very frustrating. But I've played a few good rounds. I've hit enough good shots where I'm like, all right, it still kind of lives in there, but it's just there's a lot of accumulated rust that's built up. And I've practiced a little. Like he goes to the range a lot, so I'll go to the range sometimes and hit some balls. I've watched way too many Instagram and YouTube swing tip updates, and I think that actually did more harm than good because I'm standing there over the ball trying to remember like all the videos that I've consumed, and that's not a great way to try to hit a golf ball. Um, anyway, so I was thinking about, so I have this channel, and I'm gonna go back to work, and I saw this. There was a post on Instagram 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it said, if you had 1 year unlimited resources, so is all the balls, lessons, clubs, green fees, travel, instruction, all of it at your disposal for 12 straight months, could you shoot even par 72? And the course had to be at least 6,800 yards long, and par had to be 72. And you had to shoot even par or better in 1 year, one time in 1 year with unlimited resources. And if you did it, you got $10 million. And if you didn't, you had to quit golf forever. You could never play, you could never hit another golf ball, no range, no rounds, nothing. You were done with golf. And so I read it and I was like, oh, I would 100% do that. Like that would be awesome. And it would also just make for just great theater and great content. But I would 10, 12 hours a day with the best equipment. I go anywhere in the world and get the best instruction. I get a swing coach, I get a putting coach, I get a psychologist. Like just 100, like I'd be all in, and I know I could do it. Like one even par round, playing every day all the time with the best of the best. Yeah, like sign me up. Like I would. I know it was fake, or it was just like a thought exercise. Like, can I do that? Can I pause a year of my life and try to make that happen? I don't even want the 10 million. I'll take the 10 million. I didn't really want it. I just want to see if I can do it, and I think I could. Anyway, so that's kind of living in my head. And we watch golf, when it's on the PGA and whatnot. Well, this past week was the U.S. Amateur, which is the biggest amateur tournament in the country, and it got no attention. So if you're just a casual sports fan and you're just going to CBS Sports or ESPN or The Athletic or Yahoo or wherever you get your sports information, you did not see any coverage, anything about the U.S. Amateur until it was over, and there was like one link about the guy who won. He's from England. His name's Jack Whaley. But I was really into it. I don't know why. It's on every year. I usually don't pay much attention to it myself. I might pick it up like on the last day because they play all week. So they do Monday, Tuesday. There's two 18-hole rounds qualifying, and then match play starts on Wednesday. So it's 312 players make it. 64, low 64 qualify, and then those 64 are match play, and that starts on Wednesday. And then they play match play just one-on-one all the way until the weekend, until it gets to Sunday, and then there's two players left, and they play a 36-hole final. And I watch it every day. All the coverage. I mean, it helps because I'm not working. I have a little bit of time to kill. I was on like 2 or 3 hours in the afternoons on NBC Sports Network. And I watched it. I knew some of the players. Some of them I'd kind of heard of. I don't follow amateur golf, which most people don't closely, but a couple of the guys had played like in the US Open. So I kind of recognized their names, and then most of the other guys I did not. But I was really into it. I was really watching it. Now, here's the cool part about the amateur is that anyone can play. So you can't be a pro. So you have to be an amateur. But if you have a registered handicap through what they call the GHIN system, GHIN. I have no idea what that stands for. Golf Handicap Index Network, maybe. I just made that up. Could be right. It doesn't matter. So you have to get registered. I think you have to do it through a local course. I used to have that when I was playing at my local course. I had a registered GHIN handicap. And like I said, lowest was 6. These days, Gemini told me it was a 12. Claude says I was a 15. Maybe we'll split the difference. I'm a 13 and a half. I'm not sure. Most of my rounds have been like the low 90s. I have had a few rounds in the 80s. I think my best round this year is 82. I had an 83, 85, 87. And the rest of them, I think, are like 92, 93. I had 196, which was really bad. I was so bad that day. Anyway, now with the U.S. Amateur, back to amateur. So if you have this official handicap golf index of 0.4 or better, so essentially a scratch player, what they call a scratch golfer, 0 handicap. If you're 0.4 or better, you can be a plus actually. So like the pros, like Scheffler's like a +9. Then you can register and play qualifying tournaments, try to get into the US Amateur. And I think I saw the stats. There's about 3 million in the US, or maybe in the world, I'm not sure. 3 million golfers who have a 0.4 handicap or better. And I think, I don't know, 5,000, 8,000, I don't know the number, tried to qualify. And they have qualifying all over the country. And that gets it to 312 players who are in the field. It's mostly younger, like the finals or as the field got narrowed down, it was mostly like really good college players, a couple junior players. I don't know what the oldest. I think there was a guy in his 60s that made it. I think there's a senior amateur that can play as well, but anybody can play. So I was kind of thinking about that, and so I thought, all right, kind of having that, like, could I shoot even par in a year with unlimited resources and equipment and stuff? And I don't have that. But could I document this journey now that I've kind of gotten back into golf over the next kind of 18 to 20 months? Could I get my handicap from where it currently is, somewhere between 12 and 15, according to the dumb robots, and try to qualify for the 2028 US Amateur? At least get to the point where my handicap was that low. It's at Whistling Straits. Whistling Straits is in Kohler, Wisconsin. I've actually been there. I did not play that course, but I played Black Wolf Run, which is adjacent. We drove up to Whistling. We talked to guys who played it. It's super hard. They've played, I think, one PGA championship there a long time ago. And I think a Ryder Cup is coming there, or some other big event is coming there. So Whistling Straits is awesome. It's so hard. So I was like, all right, could I do it? Do I have enough time? Can I play enough? I'll obviously need lessons. I'll need to practice. All of my equipment is super old. So I have a modern bag because my old bag broke from 1994. I upgraded that about 3 years ago. I do have relatively new shoes. That's a whole story. I don't even think I'm going to tell that story now because it's so involved. Let me just say they don't make golf shoes like they used to. I learned that the hard way. My driver is from about 2000, 2001. My son makes fun of me for that. I tried to hit his, kind of worked, kind of didn't, went back to mine. My putter is from 1994. I bought it for $40, a $200 putter. My irons are from 1996. So I have really old, like dinosaur archaic golf equipment, which my son also makes fun of because he pretty quickly put together and he has modern equipment. So I could do that. I'll obviously have to upgrade the equipment as I go. I could do some tests, modern equipment versus the old. And I actually just saw a couple of days ago. So Tiger Woods in 2000 at his peak with the equipment that he had was hitting his driver like 292 on average. And they set it up in like a robot with all of his metrics with today's modern driver and the modern golf ball. And he would hit it about 337, 338. So what is that? 45 yards more in 25 years with the technology. Anyway, so I could upgrade and then I could document the journey. I could do rounds, all the courses we play locally, handicap improvement. I'd get an official handicap through the USGA. I would turn it into a golf channel, document this journey with the goal of trying to get to 0.4. And it would have to be by probably May of 28. Then I think I could try, that would get me, if I could get there, then I could try to get into qualifying tournaments and then try to qualify for the amateur in 28. Again, total long shot. Probably won't happen, but it would be fun to try. And I think it would be fun to document. And I think a lot of the golf channels, like I used to play a lot of chess and all the chess channels were like grandmasters, international masters. Well, they don't play chess like normal people. So yeah, you can watch them and you can learn, but it's totally different. Well, it's the same thing with the golf channels. Like you can watch, Bryson DeChambeau's golf channel or these guys that are on like the Good or Tacoma guys, but they're all really good players. Some of them are good enough to even play tour events, right? Well, they don't play golf like you and I, right? Their games are way advanced. But I don't think, I haven't done a ton of research on this, but there's not just like an average dude. I'm in my 50s, so I'm not a young spring chicken anymore. But I can still play, and like, can I do it again? Probably not. But who cares? If I do, it'd be super cool. If I don't, it'll also be cool. just not super. Anyway, so that's my idea. I haven't floated this past anybody. This is the first time I'm talking about it. So if you're listening to this, you're hearing it first. I haven't even told my wife. I definitely haven't told my son. He would think I'm crazy. And anyway, so I did some cursory research. There's one David Young YouTube golf channel, but I think he has 16 subscribers and maybe like 50 videos. I think the most recent one was like 10 months ago. And it was more, seemed like he was just taking like professionals and like kind of just going through their swing in slow mo and looking at their swings and stuff. And there's another guy named David Young, but he doesn't go by that. His channel's under like, he's like a coach, like a golf coach. He had a little bigger following and a lot more videos, but again, you wouldn't even know his name unless you like really dove into his channel. But I couldn't find anything with my name in golf other than the one dude. So I could do it. I mean, my Instagram is This Is David Young. So maybe I could make that the YouTube channel. And, I would try to put a funny slant on it with all the silly golf marketing lingo that they use with all the clubs and trying to get you to buy the stuff and all the different balls. I've tried a lot of the different balls. I'm a sucker for any Instagram golf ball ad. So if you make a golf ball and you throw that ad into my Instagram feed, I will probably buy it. And I have played several, so I could talk about stuff like that. And, the people that we meet along the way that we've played with, there's some good stories there. And anyway, so that's kind of that's my latest YouTube idea. So we'll move on from that. So a few just random things to finish up. So my youngest son is playing travel soccer. It's the first time he's done that. And it's with we've never used this club before, but we'd heard good things. So far, it's been fun. They're on week 2 of practice. And on it was like an app because, all the leagues have a different app. God forbid they use the same one. And the coach sent a message to the team in the chat of this app. And it was like, tonight we're going to be practicing on the northeast corner of the field. I was like, I didn't know I was going to need a compass to find the field. Like, how many fields are there? Why can't we just label them? Why don't you just say the back field on the right? Or when you walk in, it's all the way on the right, the first field. I can find that. Northeast corner, I can't find that. I don't know northeast. I don't know directions. Like, does my phone have a compass? It probably does. Or I could probably download something that would tell me. I don't want to do that. I just want to walk in. The place is not even that big. I don't know why there's other fields we put on. They never number them. It's always like 4A, but there's no sign. So how do you know what 4A is? You got to look at like a diagram. That's such a waste of time. Just throw a flag up. Temporary. This is not hard. Anyway, so the third practice, so last week, I practiced 3 times a week. It's fairly decent investment, to play in this. It's not super cheap. And I bought him because he moved up to the biggest size. So it's like a size 5, which is full size soccer ball. So I bought him like a Nike ball. It's like $40. I put his name on it in 2 different places. I didn't realize I needed to put his name on it in 100 places with like all of our personal information because someone took it. And I was like, who's taking a soccer ball? What's not your name on it? And again, this is like a fairly decent investment. And I'm like trying to will it back. So this week I've stalked the field at both practices, indoor and out, everywhere, trying to somebody. I'm sure whoever picked it up, I'm assuming it was by accident, and they'll realize it. And they've definitely practiced by now because all these teams practice multiple times a week. So someone has, even if it was on last Thursday and they put it in their bag, didn't look at it until this week. Like they've looked at it and be like, this is not my ball. And I assume that they would just set it down somewhere, indoor, or there's no like true lost and found, give it to the director or coach, or just kick it somewhere and be like, all right, whoever's ball this is, they'll find it. And I've been close. I found a couple balls that were close. No dice yet. Anyway, I have one more tomorrow night, Thursday. I think that'll be it. If I can't will it into existence tomorrow, then it's not going to happen. We did have a backup size 5 that I didn't even know about. It's a yellow Adidas ball. There are no other yellow Adidas balls that I have seen. So hopefully that one we get to keep for a few weeks. And I did put his name on it like 18 places. So I don't know if you get gas at like the warehouse places like, Sam's Club and Costco, but I occasionally get gas at Costco. I don't enjoy that process. I would rather pay more at BP or Shell or Speedway, but I'm usually at Costco or, whatever gas has been higher, obviously the last few months, several months. So I'll go there, save my 16 cents per gallon, $1.60. And I'm amazed. So it's always crowded. You always have to wait, right? That's another reason why I like going to other places because usually you just pour it in. And I try to get gas as fast as possible. I don't like getting gas. I should probably drive an electric car now that I'm saying this out loud, but I don't, and I never have. So I try to get gas as quickly as possible. It's a race. If there was a contest, a game show of like how fast someone get gas, I would try to get on that. I think I would do pretty well. Anyway, so there's always cars, so you have to wait. And I'm an observer by nature, so I'm always watching people. So first of all, it stuns me how long it takes people to get gas. I mean, it's like 5 minutes. I'm in and out like 90 seconds. And they get out. And I know Costco is like an extra step because if you don't have their like the Costco credit card, which also acts as your membership card, which we do. So all I have to do is swipe it, or I just tap it, and then it's pay and membership in one. So I know that's a little bit faster. If you don't have that, you have to do the membership card and then however you're paying. It's not that much faster. Anyway, these people get out of the car and they look at the pump like it's the first time they've ever gotten gas. Like someone dropped them on Earth yesterday, and they're like, "All right, go put gas in this car." And they're like, "What's gas?" And they're like, "Just here. This is what a picture of a gas station looks like. Find this." And they do. It just happens to be at Costco. And they get out of the car and they're looking at it like look at all these buttons, and there's a screen and there's two handles. What do we do? And they're just in amazement and they just stare. It's so long. I mean, I want to time. I'm going to officially time some people. I want to like do it for them. Like as I see them get out of the car, I'd be like, "Can I just do this for you? Just give me your stuff." And then after 2 or 3 minutes, they finally get the pump out and then pump gas, and then they hold it. I have OCD, so I don't touch gas pumps, but you don't need to hold it. Just grab it. You put it in the tank. You start. It's got the little flip thing to keep the handle up so the gas keeps flowing, and then you don't have to touch it. Like clean out your car, get some garbage out, walk around, look at the tires, anything. Stare at the clouds. Don't hold the gas pump. Jesus. But most people hold the gas pump. They really want to make sure. Maybe it flows like a millisecond faster if you hold it down. And then they're done, and you think it's over, but it's not, because then they're they take it out, and then they struggle to get it back in, and like hose is in the way. They got to try to move it. It's heavy. They finally get it. Do they want a receipt? No, nobody needs a gas receipt unless it's like a business thing. But no normal person, you don't need a gas receipt. It's on a credit card. There's like 9 ways to figure out what you spent on gas. You don't need to print a receipt. You're not going to do anything with it. If you take the receipt, you will lose it, or it goes in your car to be found 7 months later when you're cleaning it out. So no, there should be no receipts. That should be the default. No receipts. Like if you want a receipt, you just have to work for it. And then they have to drive away. But it's not easy to drive away at Costco because there's there's a car in front of you. There's 2 cars to the right because there's 7,000 people getting gas there because they're saving their 16 cents. And then you can't move. And so then you sit there, and it's a really long process. As I'm saying this out loud, I think I'm going to stop getting gas at Costco. And all right, so the last thing is totally random. This happened a few months ago. I've told this story a few times. People think it's funny, so I'll tell it here. So my mom was in town, and we got home from dinner, and I flipped on the TV. I was trying to find an NBA playoff game, and it was a commercial. So I went to NHL, and Las Vegas was playing at Minnesota, and the game was on. So my mom's sitting there, the hockey game's going, and she looks up, and she was like, "Minnesota, are they the Golden Gophers?" And I was like, "The Wild." And she goes, "The Wild Golden Gophers?" And I was like, "No, they're the Minnesota Wild." She was like, "Oh, okay. Well, their mascot kind of looks like a gopher." And I was like, "Well, I've never really thought about this before, but I think wild is short for like wilderness. So like into the vast wilderness, like Minnesota wilderness, and then they just shortened it to the wild. So I think the mascot or the logo is like a forest, trees. I think. I don't know. I haven't given this a lot of thought, but that's kind of what all these years that they've been the Minnesota Wild, that's just kind of always what I thought, like, oh, wild short for wilderness. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. Anyway, so if you see any wild Golden Gophers out there, it's a college team, by the way. Golden Gophers is Minnesota College. She got a little bit confused. Anyway, thanks for listening. That's 25 minutes, almost on the number. Job update, golf YouTube channel, wild Golden Gophers. People don't get gas at Costco, or if you do, go early and get that compass out to find your soccer fields. Thanks for listening. See you next time.